Hey, what's going on, YouTube? And we're going to get right back into this. Three rules we're going to go over once more. If you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't like it but you want to continue watching just to hear what I have to say, go for it. The comment section is there at your own risk. Say something that I think is hilarious because of how you were offended about it. I'm going to call you out on it. Or you say something about like how, oh, that's not true, and I will hit you up with some facts on it. Because I do like to do a lot of research. I do apologize. I don't have dates written down or anything because a lot of times when I'm doing my research, I don't have a pen and paper with me. But if people want to know, hey, what date did this happen or what, so whatever, just go ahead and drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able to. My third one is, if you don't like it or if you do like it and you want to continue watching just to hear what I have to say, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Alright, let's get into this. I'm going to recap from last week because apparently there was some confusion about what I was talking about with Fauci. Fauci. In the 70s or 80s, he was given a crap ton of money to try to find a cure for AIDS. He was going to be making a vaccine. We have not seen a vaccine for AIDS at all. He actually took that money and bought a mansion or a villa. And the reason we know that he took that money was because it was bought not shortly after he got that money. And again, we haven't seen any evidence of a vaccine coming anytime soon for AIDS. Now, I don't believe in vaccines, but again, that's my personal opinion. So even if there was one and I had AIDS, I probably still wouldn't get any vaccine made by him. Or Bill Gates for that matter. But Bill Gates would be another topic for another night. Moving on to Mitch McConnell. I did get some positive feedback from my fiance about trying to go on to more than one person video. So with that being said, I'm only going to focus on Mitch McConnell tonight instead of trying to focus on three different aspects like I had the previous video, just because I do have ADD, and she did point out that I tend to jump around a lot. So we're going to just focus on one person at a time. This week's video will be about Mitch McConnell. Next week's video will be about Cardi B and some of the other, it's not just going to be Cardi B, it's going to be musicians in general who are trying to push a movement that obviously they have proven that they don't care about. But, back to this video, Mitch McConnell. Alright, for those of you who don't know about Mitch McConnell, he has been in the political realm since like the 70s. Now, that's since Congress. How long he was in the political field before that, I haven't actually been able to find that data. If somebody knows when it was exactly, drop it in the comments, please. Because I would love to know that information. I can't find it. Been doing research since I dropped my last video last Friday night. It was either Thursday night or Friday night I dropped it last week. I think it was Friday, but I'm not positive on that, so my days all kind of run together. I have a very hectic life, but I've been doing a bunch of research on McConnell since then. The biggest things that I'm going to be covering are going to be more of the things that have been happening recently, such as the pandemic. For those of you who don't know, McConnell has been very, very loud about his opinion of, I don't even know what to call it. He keeps trying to say he cares about the American people, but he doesn't really. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've actually ever heard him say he does care about the American people. So maybe he is actually an honest politician where he's actually going to say, I don't care about the American people. I mean, that's what boils down to with him, because he was against the relief package that Trump first got signed in. He was against the $2,000 one, was against the $600 one, and was against the $1,400 one from Biden. So, and he always goes to the whole, I don't want people on unemployment getting assistance. Well, here's the problem with unemployment. There's good and there's bad with unemployment. Just like everything else in life, there's good and bad to everything. You can have too much salad, and it can be bad for you. Weird thought, right? Vegetarians, I know you're probably like, just like, huh? But meat lovers too, too much meat can be bad for you as well. So, too much of a good thing can actually be a bad thing. But back to the whole unemployment thing. There's actually good and there's bad to the unemployment. You have people who can't get employed. I do have special needs siblings who obviously will never get a job. They are on welfare because of the fact that they'll never be able to work a job. Is that wrong? No. Just like if there's a guy who is stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because he lost both his legs in the war. He totally deserves to be, hey, you can't work, let us take care of you. Let us as a nation take care of you. And I know people are going to be like, well, what's wrong with socialism? If you're okay with that, then you must be okay with socialism. No, I'm not okay with socialism. That's a completely different topic. One of these days I want to sit down with my stepmom and have her talk about communism, socialism with you all, because she's got all that information. I do not. She came from Cuba along with my stepsister, so they've got that information. I do not. But continuing what I'm saying about the unemployment, there's also people who are actually just lazy and don't work. But as far as COVID relief goes, we don't know who got unemployed because, oh, hey, you lost your job due to the fact that the government overstepped their bounds and stepped in and said, hey, you can't be working. So because of that, McConnell, you owe that to the people who are on unemployment to give them these paychecks. Because of the fact that they are hitting hard times, just like the working class. And now, me personally, I'm not hitting hard times. I'm not. Like, do I have bills that, okay, I could actually use this extra money? Absolutely. I'm not saying that I have no need for, like, seriously, give me the frickin' $1,400. But here's the problem. That $1,400 is already mine. Taxes. You're just giving me back my money. That's all you're doing with this. You're just taking out why don't we just take out the middleman, the IRS, and just let me keep that money? Problem solved. You don't have to worry about it now. But no, we're going to instead call it a relief bill and give you money for free. Even though it's your taxpayer money. But, so McConnell didn't want the whole unemployed people getting anything. And that to me just doesn't sit well because of the fact that, like I said, there are people who actually got unemployed because of the fact that they couldn't work because the government told them to shut down because the government overstepped their bounds. Instead of saying, hey, be safe, be smart, keep distance from each other, they decided that, okay, we're going to run this like it's a playground and we're going to tell you what the rules are going to be, where you can and can't go, what you can and can't do, and what time you can and can't be there. And gosh dang it, this is the smartest, virus I've ever seen. It knows the difference between a church and a Walmart. And knows, oh hey, after 11 p.m. is the best time to infect people. The virus can think for itself. But continuing with Mitch McConnell. He has constantly just sat there and tried talking about how he cares about or not even that he says he cares about the American people, but he keeps talking about how he cares about the working people. And he doesn't care about the illegals. He doesn't think they should be getting anything, which, don't get me wrong, I totally agree with him that, hey, if you're not here legally, you shouldn't be getting a cent of America's money. Just like we shouldn't be saying a cent to foreign nations. But nobody's talking about that. He didn't say a word about that. He just said he didn't want illegals to get it. And before I get blasted for being racist, let me reiterate this. My stepmom is from Cuba, along with my stepsister. Love them to death. They came here legally. They defected. They came here legally. There are people who came from Mexico that I work with who came here legally. You come here legally, I have no problem with you. But continuing with what McConnell is saying about he doesn't want illegals getting this. I agree with him on that. I disagree with Addison Mitch McConnell on the fact that unemployed people should not be getting a cent because of the fact that we don't know why they're unemployed. I disagree with him on the fact that he agrees with gun control. Like, how are you calling yourself a conservative Republican if you are for the government stepping in and doing these kind of things? Like, I am more on the conservative side of things. I will not call myself that because McConnell is on the conservative side, and along with Dan Crenshaw being on the conservative side, and which don't get me wrong, I love Dan Crenshaw. Thank you for your service. You did awesome. You did your job well, brother. But you are pushing things for government stepping into my life. That is not your job. If you are a true conservative, you wouldn't be trying to step into people's lives. We haven't had a good president, or actually, we've had a decent president, but we haven't had a good president since JFK. JFK knew to stay out of our business. He also wanted everybody else staying out of his business while he was sleeping around on his wife, but hey, that's a different topic. Mitch McConnell is very much in your business. And I get that he's not president, so people are going to say, oh, well, you said president. We haven't had a good Congress member since probably the Founding Fathers. That was probably the last time we had good Congress members. And now I'm going to get blasted by people who are saying, oh, well, you're for slavery then, because a lot of them were for slavery. No, I'm not for slavery. But, different topic. Get into that later. Back to Mitch McConnell. I know I keep going off topic a little bit, but there's a lot to cover with what he's doing, where you look back at the whole, how the country was founded, and look at what he is doing along with other Republicans are doing. And I'm picking on Mitch McConnell a lot because of the fact that Addison Mitch McConnell, first of all, does not go by his first name. It's the first Congress guy I've heard of that's not going by his first name. I mean, if you're going to have a name like Addison, you need to be confident. And you just seem like you lack confidence. You look at his face, and he just looks like a guy that would be in, like, a horror movie. That was, like, just destroyed by the horror character. Like, or I would say he is the horror character. Like, maybe he's like Jason, where he just needs to keep a mask on his face or something. The only thing that's good about COVID is when he's talking out in public, he should be wearing a mask. It's the only thing good about COVID. Mitch McConnell might not be able to show his face. I mean, I'm pretty sure he goes into a hospital with newborn babies, and they're just screaming their heads off because they A, hear his voice, and B, see his face. And I get newborn babies are always screaming, but they're screaming in pure terror when they hear his voice and see his face. Like, the guy looks like he's a freaking, I don't even know what to call it. Like, is it an alien? Is it an alien zombie? Is it a zombie? Who knows what Mitch McConnell actually is? I'm pretty sure he's just a robot. He probably is just a robot for some big company that's paying him a crap ton of money. And then he's charging us a crap ton of money with taxes. That's just going to make his pockets bigger. That's the other thing I love about Congress. And Mitch McConnell's included in this. Push for more money. They want taxpayers giving them more money because their job is so stressful. You know your job wouldn't be that stressful if you just did your job? Not passing laws that are interfering with my life. Not passing laws that are interfering with my rights. Not passing laws that are interfering with others' rights. Like, Just leave the American people alone, bro. You're constantly just... Oh my God. One of the bills that McConnell actually helped pass was the no-knock rates that everybody's all up in arms against. Now, don't get me wrong, Biden was on that too. Biden was on that train too for the no-knock rates. And do people actually know how unconstitutional the no-knock rates actually are? If you look it up, they're actually extremely unconstitutional. They have a no-knock rate. The British were doing that. The Americans wanted to get away from it. Oh, they were confiscating guns. And Mitch McConnell, again, is all for this confiscating of guns, all for the confiscating of firearms. He's behind the red flag gun laws. Completely stands for it. The British were doing that. Hey, we suspect you of helping the enemy. We're going to take away your guns. Mitch McConnell, you are no better than the British. You're going to start a revolutionary war, bro. And it's not even going to be a revolutionary war because revolution would be we're trying to break away from another country. It's going to be a second civil war. And I honestly don't think it's going to go the way the politicians think it's going to go. But anyway, that's my spiel on Mitch McConnell and why I think he's just a complete dirtbag. All he cares about is your freaking money. He cares about just taxing the crap out of you. Yeah. Next week I'll be covering Cardi B and along with just the rest of like the music realm right now who's just saying that they're all about hashtag Me Too, but really, obviously, Grammys prove differently because, well, we don't care if you rape us with your eyes as long as you're just not actually doing it. So, boys, it's going to be a bumpy ride.